Hi! So I thought it would be fun to show you guys some of the quirks that come with my house here in Guatemala, because she's got some character, okay? And they're things that I'm used to, but I also feel like some people would be like, absolutely not. So I'm gonna show you. We're gonna start off real strong with every single door in my house is a different size, okay? This one, okay, that goes from my living room to my dining room. If I put my shoulder, I can't touch it. Okay? Now, that's the biggest door. And I know because I measured these. Okay? Now the smallest door is the one that goes into my bedroom. And if I put my shoulder on this side, it's like a foot difference. Okay? Now, behind this wall is actually the garage that I don't have access to anymore. But my garage doesn't fit a car. Which is why I don't have access to it, because I made the mistake of telling my landlord that I don't use it. So now I don't have to. Because my car didn't fit. And it only had spiders in it. And I didn't like that, so whatever. But anyways, that's one thing. On the topic of things that are all different sizes, these stairs, this one is teeny tiny, this one is bigger, and this one is smaller. They're like Goldilocks stairs, and I don't want to talk about how many times I've tripped up them. Usually over the tiny one at the bottom. I don't want to talk about it. Now, once upon a time, they were doing a bunch of work on the draining system in town, and they were fixing the ones in the roads, but it screwed up the draining from people's backyards. So three times, this whole at the bottom of the steps that I just showed you flooded, which is why my super handy dandy super fancy refrigerator lives on concrete blocks, just in case it decides to flood again. It hasn't in over a year, but it's a little ghetto, but it works. So in keeping with the fact that every door in my house is a different size, I think it's because they built one room at a time, and in doing so, the layout's a little wonky. Okay, so we were just in there, all right? So we've come outside to my patio, okay? There's my bathroom. I have to go outside to go into my bathroom. There's no access from inside. In addition to that, there are no sinks anywhere in my house, okay? This is my sink. You can see all of my clean dishes right there. Those are clean, okay? It's called a pila, all right? And I'm gonna show you basically what it's like. I've swapped this around, okay? Clean dishes, those are pretty much always there. I basically grab those before I grab anything else. This side has a washboard bottom for doing laundry. I don't do that, but that's what it's for. Lots of people do that. I don't. The middle is just a giant tub, basically. You can stop it up. Most people keep theirs filled with water, but that just really gets me more mosquitoes, so I don't do that. I also have two faucets. One comes from the water tank on the roof. The other one I think is directly connected from the water that comes from the city water in the street. So this is the only sink in my house. So in addition to not having a real sink, showers here are a little bit different. At least most of them are. Okay, you can find some fancy schmancy ones in some places. I don't have that. Okay, so what we have is that. Okay. That's a shower head. They're called Widowmakers here, because that's your water heater. Okay, that thing heats the water. I know my wall looks gross. I can't do anything about that. That's the water heater. Okay, so the water gets heated as it comes through there, in theory. Now, it is heated by electricity, which means when it's on, no touchy. Unless you would like to be electrocuted, in which case, you do you. Okay, but generally speaking, don't touch it. However, mine quit working, and I went through 3 of them, and I could never figure out why they didn't work. I think it's a wiring issue, but I gave up, which means I don't have hot water. And in addition to not having hot water, let's see if more will come out. Am I gonna get? Wow, it's real rough today. It's usually more than that. Nope, there it goes. It's trying really hard. Okay, I can't wash my hair in my own shower. Okay, I gotta go to the salon for that, which means my hair really only gets washed once a week. But that's okay. It doesn't cost me that much money. It's not enough water pressure to get soap out of my hair. Like, I make do, but anyway, that's my shower head. Don't touch it. Okay, gonna try to keep this part really short because this room is the hottest room in the house during the day. I have a metal roof. It used to have a drop ceiling, but they took it out because it was gross and making me sick all the time. But now this room is super hot. Now this is the only actual door on the inside of the house. Okay, there's doors on the outside, but for some reason they decided this one. This is the only way to get to the second bedroom. So we're currently standing in my actual bedroom. This room is about to be messy. Mind your business. Okay, because this is like my office, which really just translates into storage because it's too hot in here to teach. That door also goes to the patio. Goes outside, where we just were. I don't use it because I don't. But anyway, those are some of the fun things about my house. Oh, last thing. Nothing seals. Like, you can see light coming in right there, which means air conditioner is pointless. There's not one. I have 2 fans, one of which is going to get put back in its home because it's not mine. But my fan is the air conditioning, and you can't seal the house from things that would like to come inside that you don't necessarily want on the inside of your house. Mostly I don't have that many problems, but it is what it is. So occasionally there's a spider, which are not my favorite. Occasionally there are birds, which are less my favorite, I think. But anyways, there's some fun things about my house. You're welcome. Bye.